Hi, this is Malcolm. Malcolm works at Derivative Inc. and they make software called Touch Designer. And Touch Designer is the brain behind the whole show that powers the big cube thing. Actually more than the big cube thing. The big cube thing, the big wall thing behind the big cube thing, and all the little pixel bar things. The whole resolution of all the things fits nice and snugly in a 1920 by 1080 frame. So we're not needing a billion bajillion 4K outputs. We only need one mediocre output, which gives us a lot of processing power to play with. Here is some screens of the many dozens, hundreds of networks that we had to build to route visual information coming from Ableton Live. So Ableton Live basically tells Touch Designer what to do and when, and then Touch Designer does it, and then the video from Touch Designer goes into this big rack of crap, and the big rack of crap sends that information to the video products. One really cool perk about using Touch Designer is that we've been able to get our content to 60 frames a second, which is a huge noticeable difference than your standard 29 or 30 frames per second that you see at most festivals and stuff like that.
Yeah, so especially with these types of displays, it really allows the content to be perfectly pixel mapped to the resolution of whatever the cube currently is. I think it changes resolution each time you get a new cube, right?
No.
It's the same one so far?
We just add more panels.
Oh, yeah, more panels. Okay, gotcha. With real time, we get pixel perfect content on the LEDs, on the cube as well, and on the back wall. First new things we added when we started working with Joel is a remapping that it allowed content to be perfectly remapped onto the cube. Usually when you're doing systems like this, you would project onto it, and essentially your content would kind of be smeared over the pixels. During the live render, it actually renders the pixels exactly. So no matter what Joel is making, it's always going to be pixel perfect. And with it real time, he can sit here and you can mess with it live.
So this now is red. There it is. So that you cannot do with pre-rendered video being triggered from my Ableton Live set. I can change colors or whatever and then swap around those clips like very easily, whereas like if I were to do this in video, I would have to re-render it. So now we have another cube, a cube in a cube, a meta cube, if you will. So that's all being reprojected as kind of Malcolm described, with putting the pixels where I want in the camera projection angle that I want. So with this, you know, I could just move my mouse around left, right, and make the cube spin around. I could map the control of the rotation to a MIDI controller or an OSC value or anything from Ableton Live. Translate that data, because while Touch Designer is cool for creating graphics, you could even use Touch Designer as a massive like data handler and translator and stuff like that. So I can take in MIDI, I can take in DMX, I can take in ArtNet, I can take in OSC. In this case, we take in OSC, so I wrote a lot of custom Max for Live patches that send OSC messages from Ableton Live. And then we take that OSC and then we convert it into units, that a particular set of units that TD understands that, oh, my OSC goes from 0 to 1, but a rotation value is 0 to 360. So I scale those values or remap them to fit those parameters, and then as I move my 0 to 1 up in Ableton, then I'm getting a 360-degree turn on the cube here. So that can be done to the beat, and because it's done in Ableton, all the control is being externally done. That means as the song slows down, the animation slows down, or if the beats happen differently, then the animation will happen differently. So it's going to be a different show every time. While we are keeping thematic content throughout a track, if you were to record the show and analyze the video one-to-one over it, it would be different every time, which is pretty cool. And that's not something you can do with pre-rendered video.